Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the September 23rd, 2024 Historic District Board of Review. I'm talking slow so Brennan can see it. Could we have roll call, please?
Mike Pittman,
Here.
Happy Smith,
Here.
Caroline Rogers,
Present.
Kevin McWilliams,
Here.
Sandy Palmer,
Here.
Bill Jewell,
Here.
and Jed Scummett.
Here. Did everyone have a chance to look at the minutes?
Sure.
Yes. Any questions?
I moved it.
I'm supposed to
I
say
did.
questions or corrections.
Do that first.
Okay,
I was
go
gonna say,
ahead.
I move that we approve them as
Okay.
submitted.
There's Second. We have a motion second. Brennan, roll call vote.
Who seconded? I'm sorry. Oh,
She's quick.
okay. Mike Pittman,
Approved?
Happy Smith,
Approve.
Caroline Rogers,
Approve.
Kevin McWilliams,
Approved.
Sandy Palmer,
Approve.
Bill Jewell,
Approved.
Jed Scummett.
Approved. Okay, well, welcome. The meeting tonight, we will go over these applications you see on the agenda there. We'll basically have the applicants come up to the podium. Brennan will give a brief explanation of the project, and then we'll have you present anything additional you'd like to present. And then board members will ask any questions or comments. Have any comments. Just to let you know, we also get some of our guidelines from the, what was it, Ken? The Department of Interior, so national guidelines. So while we use our local guidelines, we also use the federal guidelines as well to evaluate some of the applications. So, but then what we'll do then is after we have the discussion, we will basically do what we call findings of fact, which is basically from our procedures, and we'll go through your application again with the findings of fact, and then we'll ask for a roll call vote. Excuse me, motion and then a roll call vote. Okay. So with that, we'll have our first application, Billy Klein, a certificate of appropriateness to add 9-foot addition. Brennan?
Okay, so this is an application to add a 9-foot addition to the north of the existing structure and convert it to living space. It is a 1990 building, it's non-contributing, and the house has vinyl windows, vinyl siding, and asphalt shingle. The primary residence is, that's about that.
Okay. Any additional comments, Bill?
I guess you got all the pictures and the packages, because there was a lot of pictures and I gave you a lot of things to review and to consider, so. Yeah, as long as you got all that, I think probably the one thing I will mention is just a reminder, this isn't a floodplain, so the possibility of building on that level that the current garage is sitting is not possible. I'm a couple of feet short of being able to build there any kind of dwelling space because we did have the level shot, had it shot that. So I do have to build on a second floor, so it is gonna be a bigger structure, because I can't build on that bottom floor.
Which means none of your pictures or drawings are accurate?
No.
You're gonna be on stilts then for the entry level?
Oh, no, just the ordinance that says that there just can be no interior walls on that first floor. So it can be a garage space.
Okay.
And then it also has to have the flood vents. So that's your ordinance, and so I can have the exterior walls, I just have to have the flood vents and no interior walls. You can park cars and things like that in there. Yeah, so all the drawings are accurate. Mhm. And better renderings this time, hopefully you like those.
I especially liked, you had a really neat visualization in there. You were sort of showing what the new building was gonna look like in the space, kind of an imagined rendering or as accurate as could be rendering, and I really appreciated that. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you all for the guidance last time. Talked a lot, went back and forth a lot, and you gave me those ideas, so thank you all for doing that.
Any other questions from the board?
Wasn't he coming back just to show us additional picture of the facade?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, and we have that now.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, to me, it's because it's already within regulations, I think it's a good idea.
Mr. Klein, is this the latest? Billy,
Yes,
is this the latest that you submitted? Because
no.
it looks just like last year.
It's up and down.
Okay, yeah, I know, sorry about
Oh,
that.
no, there's a whole new package. Did you not get the new package?
I didn't, but everyone else did, so it's conspiracy. No, I'm sorry, so that's fine.
Do we have the new renderings, Brenda?
Yeah, I'm sorry, it was in the PowerPoint and then they disappeared, so that's what this packet is.
That's the new, one of the new ones. Yeah. You might just have to rotate it. Yeah, that's it.
Mr. Klein, what's the height, total height?
26 feet to the top of the roof, from the
Top
ground.
of the roof?
Yeah, to the top of
So 2 8-foot floors roughly?
the roof.
on the roof?
Roughly, but that's I don't want to say 2 floors because there's the first floor where the garage is, there's the second floor, and then there's only a loft above one of the bedrooms. So there's no stairs going up to like a 3rd floor or anything like that. There's just the dormer and then a loft above one of the bedrooms.
And what are the dimensions of your garage doors?
That's a 9-foot and a 6-foot. So it's a
9-foot
regular
across.
9-foot car garage door, and then the one next to it's like a 6-foot garage door for a golf cart.
So 7 foot high, 9 by
7 foot, 7 foot high.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Perfect.
a little bit better.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions or comments from the audience? Okay, with that we'll do a findings of fact.
We did the findings of fact before, and that was not the issue, it was just the picture. Do we really need to go through the findings of fact again?
I think with the new rendering, we need to discuss, because I think the issue last time was the fact that if the board didn't have a good concept of what the structure was actually gonna look like. So I guess what I would like to hear is, do we feel that this is a more appropriate structure for that location? So with that, I would, we don't have to go into a lot of detail, but I think it's important that we agree that this is a much better rendering than the last time. So,
My big concern last time was the overall proportion of the building. It did it overwhelm that this new lot that it had, and that updated rendering makes it much more appealing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Ken, we'll let you do the findings of fact.
I just did. So we're gonna talk about new construction, and especially additions, page 106 and 108 of the guidelines. So Billy, I know you created this new lot, but you're gonna hear a lot about position compared to the original place.
Sure.
So the first part is where possible, locate the new addition at the rear, which you have. The overall proportion seems to be more compatible to the neighborhood than it was. The design of the new addition should be compatible with the existing building in terms of material, style, pieces like that, and it's not because it's brand new build. And additions should be constructed so that they can be removed from the original building, but it's not attached to the original building, so that doesn't apply. Billy, what materials are on the exterior? What's your siding?
Yeah, that was in the package too. I sent all those pictures in. Sorry you don't have them. So it's the cement fiberboard siding, and it's got a lower row, maybe the first 4 feet on the first floor is like a stone veneer.
And so, yeah, adding the LP smart siding and that veneer is fine. roof lines, it's, normal roof lines, so that's fine. Foundations, older additions, aren't any of older additions since it's non-contributing, and so I think this meets the guidelines.
Carol Ann, do you agree?
I agree.
Bill?
I agree.
Jay?
Probably meets the guidelines. I don't know whether this is turned on or not. There we go. It probably meets the guidelines, but I'm not sure that that's the kind of building you wanna see next to a park they just spent a lot of money building. It doesn't enhance the park. My thought.
So do you agree or disagree that it meets the guidelines?
I said it meets the guidelines. I'm just underwhelmed by the project. It's, wish we could have gotten something a little better.
Did you get the whole package? I'm sorry.
I did not get that, no. This same thing that you're just showing now, I did not see that drawing. This is the first I've seen that.
Okay.
Sandy?
I appreciate the cement siding, the cementatious siding. I appreciate the stone veneer near the bottom, but I still don't think it enhances the park. The park enhances the building, but it doesn't work the other direction.
Okay, Sandy?
I agree that you meet the guidelines, and I just have one question, if I could, right now. Because this is a separate, we kept saying this is built at the rear of the house that's on Central, but really this is a whole new parcel, is it not?
Yeah, it's a whole new parcel.
So it's not.
That's what I brought in case anybody
You're
wanted to
facing
see
the
it.
alley, but it's not really the rear, but you meet the guidelines, in my opinion.
Happy?
Basically, I think overall you do meet the guidelines. I think your proportions of your rear building are kind of dominating of your primary building, but we do have a kind of unusual situation here where this is kind of almost a new structure. So I think overall sufficient meeting of the guidelines.
And I also agree, it meets the guidelines. I'll entertain a motion.
Wait, one more question. What's the address now?
I don't have a new address yet. I'm still waiting on the deed to be prepared by the attorney. So I think the way they said they would do it with 911, when I talked to them, they said it would be the original address of the property and they would add a half to it. Like 121 and a half.
Is that what I would use in the motion, 121 and a half?
Use the application.
Okay.
Just a one, all right.
So, so based upon the preceding findings of fact, I move that the Madison Historic District Board of Review grant a certificate of appropriateness to Billy Klein at 121 Central Avenue to repurpose and build an addition to his garage.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. Give a roll call vote. Brenna?
Mike Pittman,
Approved?
Happy Smith,
Approve.
Carolyn Rogers,
Approve?
Emmett Williams,
Approved.
Sandy Palmer,
Approve.
Bill Jewell,
Approve.
Jed Scott.
Approved.
You'll get your certificate of appropriateness in the mail, but you need a lot of other permits that you've done a new structure, so, and since you're in the flood zone, you also need a lot more permits, so, once you have all those, and Nicole will help you get all that filled out. So.
And we appreciate your patience and bringing back the additional drawings.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, and thank you for the opportunity to do that.
Thank you, Billy, appreciate it.
Have a nice evening, thank you.
Next application is from Matthew Chandler, it'll be 221 East Second Street. Who's that guy you got with you?
I know.
I got it down. Alright, it's Matt Chandler, 111 East Second Street.
Okay. Brennan will give you a
Oh,
brief
okay.
description. You're not on yet.
Okay.
Okay, so 221 East Second Street, this is.
Brenna, speak up, please.
Oh, sorry.
Put your loud voice on.
Okay, so this is an application to construct a covered stairwell vestibule addition to the previously approved rooftop terrace and house of bar for guests. The building is from 1850, it's a federal style, and it is contributing.
You're on, man.
Alright. Do I need to give my address? Or is that just like, sure, okay. Matt Chandler here, but I'm actually gonna let Brian speak to the structure, itself. He did submit some drawings, which I think were available to, the board, so if you have those, you gotta pull those up so we can kind of speak to, the new vestibule.
Brian Harton, 104 Shearing Street. So basically there's kind of two covered sections, the one on the left and then the one on the right that we're repurposing the industrial steel window and repurposing old brick to blend with the building. Both of them, the main purpose to start with is entrance to the rooftop deck as well as egress off of the deck. So the way the building had to be configured to get its maximum use both on the west end and the east end, the way the staircase configuration happened, they both encroached onto that rooftop. So of course, as a penetration through that roof, we need to cover them. The idea is to try to keep, especially the one on the left, a little more utilitarian, like you would see if you get on the rooftops. A lot more other bigger cities, but certainly some here. In fact, there's one, when we get on Matt and Dan's building, you can see one nearby. It's very common for some sort of penetration through the roof, and then it's covered, and so it's got a little bit more of a utilitarian look to it. So again, the one on the left is really just to kind of sit in the background, and then the one on the right, they're in the east end, where they're housing a small amount of say bar apparatus to serve the deck space. We are going to repurpose a window that we are taking out on the bottom left doorway. So it's an original window, an original brick that we've removed from the building. So that'll be a brick facade there. Really just one drawing, because for the most part, because of the perspective, from the street, even across the street, that's pretty much what you get. Again, the glass handrail panels, at the lower level there, they were approved previously, and then there's a bit of a like a steel kind of trellis type infrastructure there, just to kind of tie it all together and give a little bit. I think we have, trying to see what we have in the notes there, I guess. Yeah, so the steel pergola structure is what we're calling out there as well. So again, just to provide a little bit of shade, probably on the third of the deck structure on the east side there. So that's basically it.
So Brian, when you guys were first here, there was only one entrance to the roof from Jefferson Street staircase?
No,
So
I don't know
there was
what
only
the
one exit, the
the
Jefferson
original
Street?
documents that were provided with the that first application probably came from the architect, and so this is renting I did, and I don't know that it was completely figured out 100% as far as how that staircase would exist. So really, what happens on the rear staircase has pretty much always been there, but the staircase in the middle of the building, pretty much what it does is it goes through the common wall between the two buildings. We wanted it to live on one side or the other, and we couldn't make that happen. So as you come through the wall and back out, we have to basically egress through the wall of the 3-story building, which puts you back on the roof, and then of course we can cover that. And I think the covered portion of that bar is also something that they kind of added along the way to just really kind of complete that deck structure above. So.
And the guardrail on Second Street is how many inches tall?
The glass handrail panels? Yeah, it will be a minimum 42 inches, and there'll be some separation, setback separation as well. So 42 inches is the standard height for the guardrail. And like I say, with the pergola infrastructure, and then we're actually going to have a bit of a countertop there, you gain even more separation on a horizontal level. So we want it to be safe.
The vestibule on the one that you're redoing the window,
Mhm.
using that,
Mhm.
that's on the east and it's on the south side. And
Yes.
then the other one is on the north side.
Yes, it's
in that
back in the
further side.
corner.
Okay.
So really you
So-
won't, this perspective isn't 100% true because you really won't see much of it. It'll peek up, you know, from the back corner.
Primarily.
Yeah. Again, that's why I say I think it's most fitting for that to really just kind of be like, you know, like, so what would have come through a roof structure would be like, say, either a staircase or an elevator structure, something like that. So, you know, they didn't get carried away with trying to make them look like the rest of the building. It was more of a utilitarian type structure. So that's what we'll do there.
Brian, what is the siding on the enclosure for the staircase?
The one on
Gonna be
the west end, the back staircase.
Yeah. That's the new one, right?
Yeah, that's the new one. You know, it's. I guess we don't have it detailed 100%. It would be some sort of like just a metal panel would be ideal. And again, I think you can see that very fitting with. I wish I probably should have taken a picture of the one that's. I don't even know what building it is. It's on Main Street here. That actually looks like it's a metal press panel. It was made to look like some type of block or shape or something. But I think we would just kind of keep it as simple as a metal skin. Again, basically just to shed water. Just keep it as simple as possible. Again, not trying to draw attention to it, and nothing like a siding isn't going to be consistent or authentic to that anyway. So. It's a relatively flat roof, and so it's all this rubber membrane. And
Thank you.
So that staircase is gonna be how far from the south side of the building?
the one that we're talking about in
Yeah.
the back corner.
Yeah.
Well, the building overall is about 25 feet outside. So it's every bit of it's got a little bit of an L shape to it, of course. But as that L turns to the south, it actually dives down and follows the pitch of the staircase.
Okay.
So where you egress out, it would probably be about 20 feet over.
So you're not really gonna see it.
It's very you'll see just a little bit of it. But again, once the handrails are up and everything else, it'll just kind of sit in the background.
Thank you very much for the repurposing of the window and the bricks. It's very nice touch.
So this looks like that if we approve this, walk by it a year later, you'll never notice it, right? It'll look like it was built in the 1940s or 30s or whatever.
Well, I mean, we hope
It's
so.
just
I
gonna
mean,
disappear into the.
yeah. I mean, I
into the
think
woodwork.
I think the point is to we obviously can't recreate 100% what they did, and that's probably kind of not the point of the ordinances anyway. But we want it to be in keeping with the building as much as we can. Yes.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Any questions or comments from the audience? Okay, with that, Jed, would you do the findings of fact for us?
Okay. Let me see if I can read this from this distance. Where possible, locate new additions at the rear so they have a minimal impact on the facade and other primary elevations of the affected building or adjacent properties, and you've definitely done that. The overall proportions of the new addition should be compatible with the existing building in height, scale, size, and massing so as not to overpower it visually. A new addition should never be taller or wider than the original structure unless required by code or a non-aesthetic function requirement. Observe the principles of additive massing, where the original structure remains dominant and the additions are adjoining and smaller masses. That's definitely there. The design elements of the new addition should be compatible with the existing building in terms, I need a new trip to the eye doctor, in terms of what is that word? Materials, style, color, roof forms, massing proportions, and spacing of doors and windows, details surface texture and location contemporary adaptations of the original, which clearly look like like an addition and reflect the period of the construction, are encouraged, and you've done that. So I think it meets all criteria.
There was another page, but
Oh.
really, we don't need to read all of those.
Okay.
I
You're
don't think,
helping
I
me
mean,
out, too.
yeah, or let me just say that, because it's the ordinance and the guidelines that are printed for everyone to see, so if there were anything, you've got the roof lines and the additions should be similar to foundation. should
Believe it or
be
not, I
similar.
have a pair of binoculars in my briefcase here, but that would look funny, doing that.
I think, again, without reading those, since they're in guidelines, rooftop additions, commercial buildings may be approved under.
Oh, you want me to read all these? I'll go right through it. I
No,
can
it
do
was good, I just think that's, just asked me if you meant that one, that's the one applicable, the rooftop addition.
The rooftop additions for commercial buildings may be approved under certain conditions. Rooftop additions for additional living space or decks may be appropriate if the addition is stepped back from the main facade of the building by at least 30 feet. On corner lots, the addition should be stepped back at least 20 feet on the side street. With the zoning height restrictions of 45 feet, only a small number of commercial buildings would have the potential for a rooftop addition. Well, this is 20 feet back from the second street probably, right? Or we've decided that, so he's there.
So would you say he meets the,
I say he meets all applicable criteria.
Sandy,
I agree for the same reasons.
happy?
So we approved the actual rooftop terrace, at a previous meeting. I think it really doesn't meet this setback, it's got kind of a nice picture here. But this actual building, the building next door to it is the 1850 building. This building is actually a little bit later. This building is more like, I'm forgetting, the total,
1940, I think.
1940 maybe or something. This building is a more industrial building, so I think your design is great, and I would say it does not meet this guideline, 2611, but I think this is a good place for an exception.
Okay. Carol Ann?
I agree, with the approval.
Bill?
I approve.
Ken?
I agree, same reasons.
And I agree also for the same reasons, very creative. Brian, nice job. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve this. Could you put it up there so I can read what I'm supposed to know? Okay. Based on the preceding findings of fact, I moved that the Madison Historic District Board of Review approve appropriateness for the building located at 221 East 2nd Street for the proposed stairwell cover. That's it. Do I have anything else I need to add on there to make this cricket?
Don't think so.
I would second it.
We have a motion and a second from Sandy. Roll call vote, Brenna?
Mike Pittman,
Approve?
Happy Smith,
Approved.
Carolyn Rogers,
Approve.
Kevin Williams,
Approve.
Sandy Palmer,
Approved.
Bill Jewell,
Approve.
Jed Stillman.
Approved.
Brian, you've been through this before, you've been through it before too, man.
Thank
As far as your permits, since it's a commercial building, you're not too familiar with it, I'm sure you've gotta get some fire marshal stuff and all that kind of good stuff, so. But you get your C of A for this change in the back.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Good luck with your project.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Okay, our next application is from Glenn Spencer, 313 East Street. Brenda?
Okay, so this is an application to replace old non-working windows with white Quaker aluminum clad windows. The house is from about 1860. It is contributing, and the windows are historic wood, 2/2 double hung sashes.
Okay, Glenn, I know your name and address, but would you say it for the record?
Sure, Glenn Spencer. This address is 313 East Street. my residence is 610 West Main Street.
Okay. You wanna add anything to the project?
No, other than we've already done the siding too, so the siding's gone on, we've taken down the vinyl siding and added LP Smart siding, just to fall in line more with what's in the community. Yeah, just a rehab of taking something that was nasty and trying to make it nice.
Okay. Any comments, questions from the board?
Glenn, in the application has several different descriptions. One, non-working windows replaced with Quaker brand clad windows. Then you have replaced wooden windows with vinyl windows. And then windows are historic wood. And then down below you have metal replaced with,
So the original windows were a wood window on the inside with an aluminum storm screwed on the outside. The interior windows were not operable on yours. You could never lift them up. The new ones that went in were the Quaker, yeah, I've been here long, Quaker wood aluminum clad
Okay.
window. And that was their suggestion of the window that was used in downtown Madison to have a consistency to what was already being used downtown.
Whose
So
suggestion?
there's no vinyl.
Whose suggestion?
Bender Lumbers?
yeah, that's who sells Quaker brand windows.
Yes.
Okay, so the new windows are clad windows.
Clad windows, yeah.
So you went ahead and, the windows are out now, right, so,
Windows are out and in, correct. So the timeliness of coming in, I think it was on the 14th of August, came in, met with Brenda, so there's probably some miscommunication. Just came in, made the application, it was a staff application. Received the paperwork, and she was gonna mail me the signed one when I think Nicole came in, she was out of the office. That would've been a Wednesday, so between Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the new windows were put in. I came back in to get the permit for the siding, and she needed other photos of the old windows. So, well, they're already out, new windows are in, and so, thus the confusion on my side of putting them in. So this shows the new windows in already.
so normally the process would be that you would plan the replacement of windows, but you would come here.
Correct.
And we would have a robust conversation about the windows, the value of them, whether or not they should be removed, whether or not they're operable. You know, your house is a really old house, you know, 1860,
No,
160.
it's not 1860, it's more like 1930.
No, the survey says your house is an 1860s house.
Okay.
Here, go back a couple slides. Here's the 1892 Sanborn map. Your house is right there, circled in red. Now, they don't have Sanborn maps every year, so I don't have an 1860 Sanborn map, but in 1892, your house was right there.
Okay.
Your neighbor's house was not there. Your house, Lake Ludington thinks your house might even be older. You know, Madison, you know, big towns like Savannah and Charleston, with historic districts like our historic district, you know, they saved a lot of the big houses, but Madison saved everything.
Yep.
The small, the big, and the little. You know, that's what makes our historic district so unique, that's what makes it so valuable. And houses like yours are just little jewels. I mean, look at your neighbor, maybe go ahead a couple slides, look at your neighbor at 311. They have a smaller house than yours, I think a newer house than yours. That one was not on that 1892 Sanborn map. And they have preserved their 2/2 windows, they have preserved the molding around the windows, and they have a historic door. They have a house that looks like it's in Madison's National Historic Landmark District. Your house now has lost those really sweet historic features that identify it as a historic house. Your 2/2 windows looked pretty good to me in the pictures. They are eminently repairable, they're eminently fixable, they're wood windows, so that's the great thing about wood, right, is you can repair it and replace it and make them work well again. We can't really evaluate, we can't go back now,
Sure.
you know, you've already done it. But the character that so many Addison houses have has now been lost in your house. It looks neater, but it doesn't have that historic character.
So my point, following on Abby, we've had several meetings in a row, 3 or 4 months of this, where we have people coming in with windows. And it's always been a discussion, and it's a key point on a house, is the windows. That's the eyes of the house. And when you start tinkering around with I appreciate the cement siding. I don't know what was underneath the siding, but you went first class with cementatious siding. But the windows kind of, again, I'll use the word I used an earlier one, it's underwhelming. So when you look at a house like this, and you, with the other slide of 311, that's next door, right?
Correct.
Okay, so he probably doesn't have a view of your house.
Correct.
But let's say he does. He spent money and put thought into restoring this house. Aces. It's not a palace, it's a modest home. And he made it first rate. So whoever lives in that house, they have a wonderful house, and the residents of, what is yours, 313, get to look out the windows and, very nice view out our windows. It looks like living in real Madison. But the people that spent the money at 311 get to look out their windows, and they look at it, it's got cement siding, that's better than nothing. But the windows are kind of, you'd find that, in any burb somewhere. It doesn't really speak Madison. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's not what you're looking at, it's what they're looking at. So your buildings, when you do the windows, you have to consider, well, what do the neighbors look at? So that's, and I don't know what to say, because you've already put them in. What do we do about that?
Jed, thank you. I think we've heard enough of the lecture at this point. So let's continue with the meeting, okay?
Sure.
Thank you.
I'll return the floor to you.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions or comments from the board? Any
Just have one question. The one window that you haven't replaced, is it just kind of an oversight, the tall one in the second story?
So no, that just hasn't been done yet. Hope to be able to do the attic spacing, clean that up, just haven't done that window yet.
I see.
So this is just still under construction still. Obviously, the roof has been scraped. This is now that roof will remain. Scraping it, priming it, and sealing it back up again. And then, of course, we'll landscape across the front, which from shrubbery and pods, and then, of course, paint the doors. So I think when you're done, as a neighbor, will look across the street and find it was a jewel that has been preserved.
Did you do this, or did you have a contractor?
Myself.
You what?
Myself.
I'm just curious about the process. You've been in Madison for a while, and you have a historic home,
Yes.
if you live on West Main,
Correct.
that you didn't follow the process.
Well, the process was followed. It was a staff-issued permit process, from my understanding. So it was given to me, and then a week later, rescinded because there wasn't a picture that Nicole wanted. So when I came in, I came to follow the procedures, paid my $10, received the okay because I was putting in the approved window. And then there's a question about what the prior window was. But
Guess
my,
I'm
from
confused
my
about-
understanding, I think it's a staff-approved process that we have.
I just would find it unusual that the staff would approve replacing wooden windows with any kind of window without coming before the board generally.
Mr. Spencer, do you intend to replace that back window where you're talking on your rear porch? Right, you're calling it a rear porch here, right?
I can call it a porch, no, I don't think so.
That's how we have it listed, replace wooden windows with vinyl windows on the rear porch.
Yeah, I don't have a porch, I never said anything about vinyl, so I don't know if we have
Okay,
two
so
different
it's
projects.
actually your upper story then, on the back of the
Correct.
house?
Upper story, on the attic.
Okay,
Yeah, there's
So-
really, go ahead.
In doing that window, did you intend to match your front windows?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Glenn, I've just got one question for you. Is that transom above the front door, is that the original door that you got in the
Boy,
front? Or not?
I would have a hard time knowing if it's original or not, so I can't date doors. It is old.
Mhm.
We'll be retaining that door that's there. We've started heat gunning it and getting it ready. So the front, you can see the paint's off. That's because it's all been heat gunned.
Okay. And
And the
then-
same thing with the transom. The blue around there, I think with some prior paint. I don't know for sure. Haven't scraped that down yet.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Any questions or comments from the audience? Okay, Caroline, can you read? Can you see that far? Oh, you
Can,
can.
can I read?
Yeah, well, you can't see that.
Yes, sir, I can.
Very good. Would you like to take
Okay.
findings back, Caroline? Thank you.
I know, these are the guidelines. Retain and preserve the historic windows, but we've seen what has occurred here, and what you want to do on the back side is match to what you have on the front now, right? Okay. You could, you said apparently you didn't think you could repair the existing ones, so you're replacing the entire ones. And I think, you gonna have storm windows?
No.
No, okay. The windows must match the originals in overall, or the windows that are there overall. I would have them match if I were you. The proportion, the height, everything is already there. That wouldn't change. You're not changing the size or
No.
anything? Mhm. The spacing, you have nothing to do with that. The entrance or the porch projection, it's not a porch at all. Okay. And it is gonna be aluminum clad, wood, aluminum clad.
Correct.
Thank you.
So they're not aluminum. I know it's kind of confusing when it says
Yeah.
aluminum windows. They're wood windows with aluminum clad.
The scale of the building is not an option here or a problem. Deteriorated historic features should be repaired rather than replaced. But after the fact, there's not a lot we can change about that. The new feature, I kind of wish you had put it in as a 2/2 because that was the original design, but you didn't. It's already replaced. And unfortunately, it is not in conformance with the guidelines. But in my estimation of that, because the front windows have already been replaced at your cost, you are at least replacing that back window, which you can't see anyway.
Correct.
You have to stand up on your garage there to see that window or sneak in between the buildings. And I think that's an unfortunate thing, but I have no problem with you replacing it in kind, even though it is not in conformance with the guidelines, which probably will not be changed for this particular project. So, I'm not quite sure how to word that, other than I wish it did match the guidelines, but again, they are just guidelines. We try to make that happen and can't always, because we're not always informed in time to help you make those decisions. But I would not deny you putting that back window in to match the other windows in the house.
Right.
Bill,
That's it.
do you agree with Caroline?
I agree.
Ken?
I'm not offended by the move to clad windows, everyone knows that. But I'm very disappointed you weren't advised to replace these windows with 2/2 window panes. Your single pane over single pane doesn't do your home justice at all. So I just,
Very nice.
historic wood windows because they are such an important architectural feature on our historic houses. You can see it all over town, how good the historic windows help the houses look historic. So I think what you've done does not meet guidelines. I think there obviously was a breakdown in communication here, and maybe a lesson for all of us, you know, to work on better educating. Because we really do want people to think hard about the best, wonderful use they can make of their houses, you know, how best they can enhance the features of their houses. Find those jewels in these old historic houses and enhance them, not remove them.
I'm not sure if I'm agreeing or disagreeing. He did not meet the guidelines, so I'm not sure where we started with that discussion.
Jim?
I said my piece, I don't think it meets the guidelines.
Do we have a I agree that, there was a breakdown in communications here with this application. You can't go back and put those windows back in, because I'm sure they're gone, so unfortunately. But, we do have a lot of, good support up here with the board and also with Brenna and Nicole to help people. And there will be a breakdown in communication every now and then, that happens, so. The fact is, you did not meet the guidelines, but I think with this situation, I think we can make it an exception, in my mind, so. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Could I just clarify, I'm good, she's making it, but are we I'm hearing two things. Are we going with the one window that has yet to be done, or are we going retroactively to the windows that have already been done?
Doing both, we're approving his application as submitted.
So that's all the windows.
That's all the windows. Okay, Caroline?
Based on the preceding findings of fact, I move that the Madison Historic District Board of Review grant a certificate of appropriation to Mr. Glenn Spencer at 313 East Street for the proposed addition of replacing a wooden window with vinyl aluminum wood-clad windows on the rear second floor. Does that sound right?
They're vinyl, so I don't know where the term vinyl comes in, so if I.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say vinyl.
Okay, yeah, just the wood aluminum clad windows, correct?
Aluminum clad windows, okay. And that's it.
Okay, do we have a second?
I second.
Okay. Brenna, roll call vote, please.
So I just wanna know before you vote that that motion is for one window on the rear,
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
so the board is clear what you're voting on. So it's not the entire application the way she worded it.
You can redo the motion.
Yeah, I would prefer we do the entire application, because what are we gonna do with the existing windows he's already put in?
You can do two separate motions, I just wanted to make sure the board was clear what they were voting on.
Caroline, do you wanna modify your motion to include all the windows or not? I'll leave it up to you.
No, I made the motion just for the one window. Do you want me to add?
We've got 3 other windows we'll also consider.
That have already been replaced?
Yes.
I do not want to change it.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. We'll do a roll call vote on the one window.
Mike Pittman,
Approve?
Happy Smith,
Deny?
Caroline Rogers,
Approve?
Ken McWilliams,
Approve.
Sandy Palmer,
Deny.
Bill Jewell,
Approve.
Jed Scully.
Deny.
Okay. Do we have a motion on the 3 other windows?
Based upon the preceding findings of fact, I move that the Madison District Board of Review grant a certificate of appropriateness to approve the already finished replacement of the 3 windows.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
And we have a second. Motion and a second. Roll call vote, Brenna?
Who was the second? I'm sorry.
Excuse me?
Who was the second?
Caroline?
Okay, Mike Pittman,
Approve?
Happy Smith,
Deny?
Caroline Rogers,
Approved.
Sandy Palmer,
Deny.
Bill Jewell,
Approved.
Jed Stoner.
Deny.
4-3 twice? Okay, you passed, Glenn. Okay, so, I think we all learned a valuable lesson tonight, so, but, you've already got your approval put in here, the window. I don't think you would need any permits to do the window, you're fine there, so. Thank you, sir, for being patient.
So I appreciate it. I will be back for the next projects, right? So we're gonna be doing remodeling the back of the building, so I'll bring the drawings in prior to it, and fencing, same thing, so it, I'll see you sure.
Hey, we appreciate it. Thank you, Glenn.
You bet.
Okay, our next application is from Heidi, what's your, pronounce your last name for me.
Guidance.
Geiges. 710 East First Street. Brenda, will you read the application for us?
So this is an application to tear down the old shed and replace with a new shed that is covered with vinyl siding to match the house. The house itself is from 1910, it's non-contributing, and it has a 2-story rear and side frame addition.
Do you have anything to add, Heidi?
Say that again?
Do you have anything to add?
Well, I mean, my intention is to put something there that is actually usable. So, I mean, it's one of the first things when I bought the house, I was like, I need to have a shed that I can store things in securely and maybe even do, like, be able to sit in there or use it as another, like, out space, not sleep and live in there, but where it is insulated and would have that use. So right now, it's, I mean, it's not really usable in that sense. I have a ladder in there and 2 screen doors. And I don't have a garage, so, and then have not a lot of storage in the house, so this was something that I really been wanting to do, and it's just taken, I've been here a little over 3 years, so the outside was the looming project, but I've been fortunate to find Aaron Wilson, who's my contractor, to do the work, and he'll probably answer more of the questions than I will.
Okay, thank you. Do you have more pictures? No plans?
This is all of them.
Okay.
The picture, I gave you the plan, the drawing. There's a
They might be in
drawing.
the,
They were in the packet.
yeah, they were in the flip piece.
This drawing, right? This is
Right.
the drawing, right?
So it's basically, we're just taking that down and rebuilding a shed on the same, if there's a foundation there, so it's gonna be exactly the same size. But we'll be, have a real door, and it's also gonna have some windows, so, definitely wanna get the proper windows that need to go in there. We talked about matching the house, so the house has vinyl siding. So that's why it says vinyl siding, but, cause we had a conversation about it and, wanted to similar color, go with the same material so that it's matching the house, so it's, blends in to what's already there. But I am aware of LP Smart siding, so, certainly can go that route if that's, the better route to go.
Heidi, your house is a nice house, but it's non-contributing, so you can have, I'm not offended you're gonna have vinyl siding on your new building. Doesn't make any difference for that street anyway.
I have a question about, perhaps you could answer it, sir. When you have the materials for the new shed, it says vinyl siding to match the house, comma, white soffit and white fascia metal plywood. What is a metal plywood? Or is this a type?
Well, I think that was just kind of maybe, plywood behind the soffit, but it would have white aluminum fascia metal going
Okay,
around
the
on
outside's
an
gonna be
open house.
vinyl though. The outside,
Yeah, the outside, the side, the
Mhm.
siding, we're trying to plan
right,
on
which
using
is what the
vinyl.
house is.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
And the windows would match the way the windows are on the house,
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
what's on there currently.
And it's keeping the same footprint that is the
Yes.
shed is there.
basically it'd be the same, just little cosmetic, few changes. It's rotting out around the bottom, so really, I mean, the shed really ain't much usable right now.
Mhm.
The critters like it, right?
Yeah,
They love
there's
it.
no secure door or.
Yeah.
Do you know what your house is underneath the vinyl siding? I know we're not talking about doing anything to your house, but is it frame under that siding?
The,
Your
you-
actual
my
primary house?
actual house, I'm not sure that I know the answer to that.
I mean, it should be wood framing underneath of it, it's a house.
But I think, is there another original covering under there? Was it something, was it asbestos at one time, or was it? you know?
I don't know, I didn't work on on the house, so I couldn't tell you what's behind the vinyl siding.
I was told that there's basically, it's just wood, there's no like, you know, cause I thought, I mean, I don't love the vinyl siding. I mean, I would have loved to uncover, there'd be some, you know, historic material under there, then I could take the siding off, but I was told that that's not the case.
And we're not discussing your house.
Right.
I mean, that's not part of your application.
So I was the one who brought up this
So
whole thing.
stop it.
I'm just wondering if, you know, you thought okay, there've been some really cool houses in Madison where they have taken the siding off and it has been the original wood underneath. There's 6 houses over at Poplar and Second that all have had old, you know, have had siding come off and great wood underneath, so it could be under there. So I'm just thinking for the future, you know, if you thought you ever wanted to maybe kind of take your primary house back, it might be nice if you had your shed in the back be a more durable material like the hardy board, just a thought.
The house was just recently redone, not too long ago. I think, within a couple of years maybe. So whatever was back there was probably taken off and replaced, my guess.
Okay.
Thank you. Bill, would you like to do findings of fact for us?
I would, yes, will this be, 24-0?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. The design of new garages and other accessory buildings should be compatible with the Dwellington Historic District. Looking at your plans and kind of what you have in mind, since you're building on the same footprint, I'm assuming that your roof pitch will be very similar. I think it would meet that with no problem.
Yes.
Site the new garages and accessories on the back of the lot appropriately, and it is. That's already where it is, so we're not reinventing the wheel there. If we're reconstructing or missing garage or outbuilding is desired, it's not missing, it's there, so that doesn't really apply here. The outbuilding should maintain proportional mass, size, and height to ensure it's not taller or wider than other things on the lot, and I think you've done that quite well. Materials for the new garage, it looks to me like you are matching up with it for continuity as far as what the house has. Generally, the eaves and the roof ridge should not be higher than those, and I don't think they are. The windows, it's not a whole lot visible from the right of way that I could see on that one. It seems to me like your windows are gonna be okay. Will it have a metal garage door on it?
No metal
Oh,
garage
okay.
door, it'd
Oh,
just
okay.
be like a regular entry door.
Okay.
And now the
So
entry
that-
door could be, you know, like a metal,
Right.
what you get up there at Lowe's.
Right,
But-
so the garage door is not really apply here. It's not a double garage and it's not a carport. I feel like that your project does meet our requirements here.
Caroline?
I agree.
Ken?
I agree, same reasons.
Jed? I agree. Sadie?
I agree for the same reasons.
Happy?
I agree.
And I also agree. The critters won't be able to get into that. I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we accept, let's get this together here, I got it right here. I I move that we accept Heidi Guyas.
Guidus.
Guyas, I'm sorry.
Just go ahead and swear.
I accept her, application. Based on the finding of fact, I move that the Madison Historic District Board of Review grant a certificate of appropriateness to Heidi Guyas, and for the addition, for the tearing down and the addition, of the new shed on her property as is, put forth here.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And we have a motion and a second, because Caroline did it. Second. Brenda, roll call.
Mike Pittman,
Approve?
Kathy Smith,
Approve.
Caroline Rogers,
Approve.
Ken Williams,
Approve.
Sandy Palmer,
Approve.
Bill Jewell,
Approve.
and Jen Scott.
Approved.
You'll be getting your application, your certificate of appropriateness in the mail. If you need any other permits, if you need any wiring or anything like that, check with Nicole's office, and she can let you know all about that.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming for us.
Thank you.
Our next application, wow, it's gotta be you. Dwayne and Cheryl Rabb, 117, 119 St. Michael's Avenue. Brenda?
Okay, this is an application to tear down the current garage and replace with a new garage. The drawings came in this morning, so I did pass those out, if you haven't seen them, they're somewhere up there.
Yes.
This building is, or the house is an 1860 Italianate, home, and it is contributing.
Go get your name and address.
My name is Samuel Gerard. I'm here on behalf of Dwayne Rabb.
Okay.
Do you still need my address or
Yes,
theirs?
sir.
My address is 13090 Allensville Road, Bennington, Indiana.
Okay.
That's my address. Is that you still want it?
No, that's good. She's got it.
Okay. Do you have my address? Okay.
It's there.
I'm from over by Switzerland County. So this is the first time I've ever stood before a committee like this, so
Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here.
thank you.
Thank you for your patience.
Tell us about what you're gonna do.
So there's this garage back there, it's 24 and they wanna tear it down, and I would tear the concrete out and everything and put a whole new foundation and concrete pad with a small wall around everything and pour concrete in it. They wanna go back with 28 by 28, set it back off the street a little bit more, back towards the house, and then they wanna go back with, LP lap siding, it's LP smart siding. Now, the front of their house is brick, but if you look in the back of their house, their addition's got the LP smart siding, which I remodeled some of that several years ago and put back the old look, what it had to look like with LP smart siding. So they wanna match that with the garage. And so now this is the way they wanted the garage to look. Like if you look over on the far right side, that overhang would be over on the neighbor's driveway. So now they're talking about changing the pitch to go over the porch like it is all the way over the porch. So that's not determined yet what they want. The neighbor's not too sure that he wants to overhang on his driveway, and the driveway is like 18 to 24 inches higher, and the garage currently is in from the driveway, I don't know, probably 18 inches, 16, 18 inches, and there's a little ditch right there, kind of. Well, my thought was to make a retaining wall, make that north side the retaining wall, and make the building to that point right there, so that we can pave that on that side. But now the neighbor is not sure that he wants to overhang over there, so we might have to offset that and bring that in off of his property just a little bit. And that's board and batten there, but we would go with LP lap siding and standing seam metal. And vinyl windows, by the way. I don't know what kind of window we're supposed to have, but we had to figure out vinyl windows.
Are you calling standing seam what's on there now?
On the roof?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
This is the picture they presented to me, and the door's on the wrong side, and the roof is not the right.
Okay.
Other than that, it's accurate.
Other than that, it's pretty good.
So they asked me if I can draw it up. I said I have the software to do it on my computer, but by the time I start, I'm ready to take the ball back to it because I ain't got the patience on the computer to figure it out, and I didn't draw it up. So this is his drawings.
Could you go back to the picture that's not right, but You did say that the roof was, because of the, if they decide it's not gonna overhang the neighbor's drive, the roof line is going to change.
So, you see how there's two different roof lines?
Mhm.
They just now are thinking about just going
Just
with
make
one. And the gable that's facing us would not be there, but on the left, that roof would just go on over.
Okay.
Okay.
You follow me?
Yes.
So because on the left side, on the right side is the neighbor's, and that would be the drive there, the neighbor's driveway there. And there's a retaining wall there now, and they wanna replace that retaining wall with the same kind of structure.
But they're just saying they would continue to just be there.
Yeah. Because see how the overhang is over on the right side there, it would go over the neighbors, and the neighbor doesn't want it, so if we take the gable on out, then it wouldn't be like that necessarily. And then the idea is if they go with the roof all the way across, then they would put a couple dormers in.
It's pretty design.
So you really have not finalized the plan?
That's right.
Okay.
And
The question was the height of it, but we don't.
the height, we would not go, if you go back to the house, we would try to stay same height as the house. We're gonna be same height as the house right there. They want a attic space on top of the garage, and they told me they don't want it higher than the house roof. And I would stay with the same pitch and the same height
As the house.
as the house.
So, Samuel, I've heard a couple of things that concern, one is you don't have a finished design, and the other is you don't have an agreement with the neighbors on where you can position this building.
They have, that's what I don't understand exactly, because the neighbor is okay with us building up to there, but the last I heard from Dwayne, is the neighbor's not sure that he wants to overhang over there, so Dwayne told me today, he says, I haven't decided yet which way you wanna go, because we gotta talk to the neighbor. That's the last thing I heard from Dwayne. So basically, what we wanna do is we wanna get this started and get the meeting and see what's actually required, and then go from there.
Brendan, is this on the floodplain? Your site map shows that it's on the floodplain.
The site map is showing it.
So that's another issue. So I think you heard the first gentleman here, he can't have walls.
Interior walls.
on-
There isn't on the garage here.
Okay.
The interior, there would be just attic space above the garage.
All right, so I saw those, we don't have a confirmed plan and we don't know where it's gonna be built. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I guess, Samuel, what we're at right now is I would suggest that you go back to your client and say, let's get on the next meeting and firm up what they actually
Okay.
want, because we can't really come up with a concept and.
Well, I was watching here and seeing what needs to be here. I can get all that information for you.
Okay.
I had no idea what you guys needed. I was just here to fill in for Dwayne.
Okay.
He's in Florida.
We appreciate that.
He's in Florida. He said, "Can you come in?" He said, "All you need to do is just be there." I said, "Okay." That's what
We
I'll
should
do.
have him fly you down.
Huh?
Should have him fly you down.
send me your bill for the ER.
Yeah.
No, we appreciate what you're trying to do, but there's not really enough information for
Okay.
us to make a good.
Well, I'm gonna help him get everything together. You had a question?
Yes, I'm just curious, how long has Dwayne owned the house?
How long he's owned the house?
Yeah.
I do not know that, but I know I put a new kitchen in the house 4 years ago.
That's good,
He's had
okay,
quite a
that
while.
gives me an idea then, okay. So, cause I'm looking at the house and whatever you're doing with it, you're doing great
Yeah,
stuff.
I loved working on it. It was awesome to work on the house. We got it back to
You
looking
can
really-
see what you're doing with it, but you don't have a plan.
No, not this correct plan, but I'm gonna help him get something together for you guys, because now that I know what you guys need, I can help him get that for you.
If you would like us to table your application, we can table it, that way you don't have to pay another fee and come back before us, come back to the office.
Dwayne did actually request to have it tabled if you guys didn't like
Okay, good.
what was presented.
I will entertain a motion to table this application.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I would second that.
Roll call vote.
Mike Goodman,
Approved?
Kathy Smith,
Approved.
Carolyn Rogers,
Approved.
Kendrick Williams,
Approved.
Amy Palmer,
Approved.
Bill Jewell,
Approved.
Jed Scout.
Approved.
And Samuel, on our website is a copy of our guidelines, and that may help you as well too. It's on the City of Madison website, so that
Okay.
will give you an idea of what all's on
Okay.
there. If you need that, so that should help, but pictures and schematics schematics are real important. for
Well, I'm gonna
us.
go there and take some pictures from all angles and
Okay.
the house and what we're looking for, cause I've watched now what's kind of requested and
Okay.
I knew about what's gonna happen when I get up here, so.
Thank you, Samuel, we appreciate it.
Thank you guys, have a good one.
You too, take care.
You have a safe trip.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, wife.
Yeah, I got all the kids, they're parked down here.
Oh, geez, they're all waiting for you.
We're down here, they are, we're playing the playground, so. We're heading to Missouri. Thank you, we'll see you.
You can go out the back door.
New old business.
You can go that way.
I don't think we really have anything, or just a reminder of the state preservation conference that I believe you all are signed up for is the 22nd through the 25th of October. So attend what sessions you can.
Can we get an agenda? I don't think anybody's got an agenda. for
They should be on this, on the conference website.
On the conference website?
Yep.
Indiana Landmarks?
Mhm.
Okay.
Or if you send me an email, or Brenna an email, somebody can send it to you guys.
We appreciate you getting those.
If, Helen is going to the camp thing, which is Tuesday before the conference.
I don't camp. Anybody else going to the camp?
I'm going. Okay, I'm just curious.
A lot of campers.
Yeah, I wanna go.
I think
Yeah, it's Tuesday, it's at History Center, I believe, all day.
Although I guess I won't.
Yeah, it was included with everyone's, registration, so I don't know who signed up for what, cause you all did that individually.
That was, I was just curious, cause it seemed like it's really applicable to what we do.
Yes.
And if I remember right, the one last year, lunch was pretty much on our own, correct? Is it that same?
At camp it's included, but yeah, then, I believe Thursday is the only day that it's not included.
Okay. Just so everybody knows.
Yes.
I have a piece of new business. There's a workshop at the History Center, so if we keep asking for people to work on their wood windows, we're trying to think of more ways to get information out there about how to work on wood windows. So this is a glazing workshop, very reasonable price, wonderfully, wonderfully expert person, from the Indiana Sites and Structures Museum, teaching us how to do glazing.
And then I had one piece. Nicole asked you last meeting if you could go check the house on Mill and Third Street about the replacement windows, and what do you have?
Those are temporary coverings, just to cover the, openings. He is, working on the windows currently to be
No,
reinstalled.
I thought Russell was, I
Yeah.
thought he was doing that, but I just.
Yes, he has a PACE grant for that
But
project.
Brenda, this is another case where we had 1/1s and they've just, it's a horrible look in that house. And so when you're counseling people, I assume that you're saying if you're 4/4s, you're gonna replace with 4/4s. And so somehow that,
If they,
once again,
if they submit that, and it's like for like, I think typically we as staff can approve it, but if they're changing what it is, then it comes here.
that wasn't what I was going at. I just thought, just please counsel people.
Yes.
Or beat the hell out of them. That, or at least the windows kind of look like what they're replacing. Thanks.
I think what Brenna is nicely saying is any applications that come before you have not been approved by staff. So, when individuals say, oh, well, they were approved by staff, they were not, then we would not bring them here. But yeah, we do our best to try to cancel them before changes get made, but of course, that doesn't always happen.
Well, that's what I was before, it was like, we weren't throwing you under the bus, it was like,
Anything else from the board? I'll entertain a motion to
No,
adjourn.
that's-
Oh, wait a
I think
minute,
we have-
Stafford, sorry about that. I
Okay.
won't entertain a motion, go ahead.
So this month, we only have 3, staff approvals, for events, 2 signs, actually on the building that we heard from the Chandlers tonight, and then a fence on St. Michael's. And then last year, everything that was applied for has been completed.
Okay.
before you adjourn, just quickly, but, you know where you send us the website and then we can see all the files for the month. if we were looking at an old thing, is that out there as well? Can we find those through looking at old agendas? Is that where we go to find that? Or,
Yeah, everything on the website is kept on the website, so, if you know which agenda it's on, or you can just reach out to staff, we are happy to send you whatever, you need for past applications, because they're all public records.
I move to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You can hang around. Thank you all, appreciate what you've done, thank you.
Sorry.
Oh, if anybody wants a flyer, blazing workshop?